Companies can literally get hundreds of job applications for one job posting, which is why we built this hiring screener that does it all for you with AI. If you want to save potentially hundreds of hours of sorting and looking through resumes, even if you want to sell this automation yourself, stick around till the end of the video because I'm going to show you how to build this thing step by step. Hey, what's up everyone? My name's Ben with God of Prompt, here to show you how to build this thing step by step. Don't worry if you don't have any programming experience or anything like that. Before we start building, let's figure out what this thing does at a high level. It collects resumes, it listens for new resumes being sent to your Gmail, stores it in Google Drive, extracts the data depending on if it's a Word doc, PDF, or text file, gets the job description so that the AI agent later can compare the description versus the resume. And then we store it all in a Excel sheet so that you can reference all of your applicants later. You can even sort by overall fit, for example. Cut through all the noise. In N8N, let's create a new workflow. Our trigger, or how we're going to listen for a new event to kick this thing off, is going to be Gmail. So on a new Gmail message received, bring that guy in. If you've never connected your Gmail account, this text will be read for you and you have to create a new credential. Sign in with the Google account that you're going to receive your resumes on. Next, we're going to store our resume in Google Drive. So we'll hit that plus sign, add the upload file action. You'll need to, again, create a new credential if you haven't before. Here we've got a OAuth redirect URL, client ID, and client secret. And all this is a fancy word for your username and password to use Google like this. And we get this information from cloud.google.com. So once you enter that in and log in, go to your console. We're looking for the Google Drive API. So in the search box on the top here, type that in and click the results. Your button will say enable here, so go ahead and click that. By the way, you may be asked to create a project at some point here. It's just a way for Google Cloud to organize your stuff, so just go ahead and make that. Anyway, once you've enabled the API, you can hit the credentials tab here or on the side. I already have some OAuth credentials. You will create a new one, and we want OAuth client ID. Application type is web application. Name it something that you will remember. And the last thing we have to do is authorize, redirect URIs. We're going to hit add URI. We get that from the URL here back in N8N. Paste that bad boy in there and hit create. Remember, this is like your username and password, so don't expose this to anyone like I'm doing. Client ID, copy that, put it into N8N. Client secret, copy that, put it into N8N as well. Hit save. Then this sign in with Google button will appear. This was not there before we added this stuff and hit save. So now that we've done that, we can sign in. And this will allow us to grant N8N some permissions to kind of do stuff on our behalf on our Google Drive account. Let's go back. Here comes the routing where we're gonna split it off based on if it's what file type the resume is. So to do that, we're gonna use a switch. I'm gonna name this file type so it indicates to me what it's for. And we're gonna add different routing rules. We're gonna add 3 rules for 3 different file types. And you'll wanna copy these values. So the first one, we're just checking if the type is that indicates a doc, a Word doc. Second is if it's a PDF. Third is if it's text or plain. So just copy these values in. You can take a screenshot of the video, put it into ChatGPT and tell it to extract the text so you don't have to manually, look at what's on the screen here and type it into your own flow. And because we've renamed output, that is what our branches will show as. First, we'll handle Word docs by pulling in an HTTP request here. Copy the configuration for this node here. It's a post method. Copy this URL, predefined OAuth2 API, and then select the credential that you just made in the previous Google Drive step here. And what this step does is convert Word to docs, so we'll make that the step name here. Next, we'll add the get doc step. So this is Google Drive step downloading a file. Make sure you select the credential, that we just created and copy this configuration here for this step. You will see these options by hitting add option here. Next, we're going to add an extract from file step. And we actually do extract from PDF here. I don't know why it just works when I tested it. And actually best practice here is to begin testing everything. Now, before we get too far along, one of the best practices is to start testing early. So let's at least test our flow works all the way up until this point. So what I've done here is sent a fake resume to the Gmail that we linked in our earlier step. And the resume is a doc, and it's just a fake person with a fake AI engineer resume. All I did to make that for testing purposes was just went to ChatGPT and said, make me a resume. And to make this resume, all I did was go to ChatGPT and say, make a sample AI engineer resume. So we send that to our target email address. And when we execute the workflow, it'll pick up the most recent email. So if we fetch a test event, we get our most recent one here called resume. And what we want to do while we're testing is hit P on your keyboard to pin that data. That way we don't have to keep pulling in new emails, and if we get another email in the meantime, we're still working with my test resume email. Let's test the next step where it uploads it to our Google Drive, but we haven't really configured this thing yet, so we just added our credentials. I'm going to rename it upload to drive. So if we try to run this, we get an error, right? It says the operation expects the node's input data to contain a file. And that tells me we're not passing a file from the previous step. So if we click in here, indeed it's this JSON data. What we want is for this step to download the attachment. So what we do there is untick simplify in this first step, add an option to download the attachments, hit check, fetch the test data again, and now we have an attachment instead of the JSON data we originally had. Go ahead and pin that thing. Now let's finish configuring the rest of this. Let's make the data field name match. Paste that file name in. This is what it's going to be in your Google Drive. It's asking which drive and which folder you want to put it in. I've already got this resumes folder in my Google Drive, but you can make a new one here or right click, make a new folder. Once you make it, you may have to save the flow, refresh it, and then open that step again, and then your new Google Sheet, your new folder should be in there. Go ahead and click that. That way it will save this file in your folder you just created. So I've already got quite a few files in here as I've been testing this, but let's see if it adds a new one. So we'll execute the step. We see it was executed successfully. Let's refresh in Google Drive. We'll sort by the date modified, and bam, we have this one that we've just added. There's probably some better logic you can put in here besides just naming everything resume. So let's pin that. Again, because we don't want to upload stuff to our Google Drive a million times that we have to delete later while we're testing. If you appreciate how I've been walking you through step by step and showing you how to troubleshoot these flows in a way you will encounter when you're building this flow for real yourself, then please hit the subscribe button and like the video. Lets us know that we should make more videos like these. All right, on to testing the next step. It correctly identified it's a Word doc. Pin that bad boy. The rest of the steps went off without a hitch for me, so execute that guy. We do some conversion there. Then we get the doc and extract the data from the doc. You can see even though it's extract from PDF, we still get a nice text file with all of the data from our PDF in it. It's that whole wall of text there. Now let's tackle the PDF case. So we'll add a download file step from Google Drive, rename it get PDF, select the new account that we made, and it's just going to get the file by ID. Another extract from file node that is set up the same as the one above. That's all we need for PDFs. You can obviously test this out too, but I've already done that. For the text version of resumes, we're gonna add another download file node from Google Drive. Connect that thing, double click, select our new credential, and same thing, we're just grabbing the ID of the file so that we can get it. Surprise, surprise, another extract from file step, and we just have the destination output field as text here as the only difference. So all three of these could have a text variable that is filled with the stuff we need to continue processing. So we're gonna add a edit fields or set node here. We're gonna rename it set resume and copy this configuration here. Then you simply connect all of the extract data nodes into this one node here. And when we run it, it just gives us an easy one item as the output, resume, and the text of the resume. So all paths so far have led to here. We now have our resume in one variable. Next, let's pull in the job description so we can compare that with the job application. We do that with another download file node from Google Drive. Connect it, rename it something like get job description. Select the new credential. Copy this setup here. You'll have to add these options by clicking the drop down below. The only thing you will want to input yourself is the file itself. So going to your Google Drive again, in your resumes folder, you'll want to upload a file. So I just uploaded a text file of the senior AI engineer job description, and it looks like this. If we open this, we're looking for the ID here, and that is located right here in between the d/ in the URL bar and right before the /edit. So copy that string there, go back to your init flow and paste your own file's ID into this step. Let's test it. All right, then if we test it, we get the node is successfully executed, and we have the data on the right side here. It's our job description. And when we get files, you know, we got to extract the data from them so we can work with it in our init flow. So we just keep these the setup there. I'm gonna go ahead and pin some of this data. Now that we have the application and the job description, let's feed them both into AI so that it can do some analysis for us. So let's add an AI agent, like so. Copy this configuration I've got here. I'll open up the system message for you. So you can see the prompt we're using. You don't have to use this exact one, but you certainly can steal this if you want. Just be sure to include the JSON text there and the set resume text there. So let's connect. And now that we've connected it and executed the AI agent step, the recruiter agent, we see the variables have now become green because it's getting data from the past steps. But it's saying, hey, the node is not connected to anything. You're not asking it to do anything. So to power AI agents in init, you have to add models. So you do that by adding a new node and finding the OpenAI chat model. You can certainly use the one of your choice. Connect that and let's set it up. You'll need to grab your OpenAI credentials by creating a new credential if you haven't before. Going to platform.openai.com/API-keys. You may need to enter your billing information and set up your account. Create a new key. I'm naming mine init flow, delete later, because I'm showing it here. So you hit copy and paste that into your API key field. It's the only one that's required. So this lets init use your OpenAI account and run up your bill there. You know, AI is not free, unfortunately. As far as models go, GPT-5 is out now, so you could choose something like GPT-5 Nano when you're testing, and maybe another, like a more capable model when you're in production. Like GPT-5 Pro, it'll take a while longer, it's more expensive, but you might get better results if this is running in the background. Rename that bad boy. For the output parser, we're gonna add a structured output parser. And we wanna define our own. So click that option. And I'm gonna pop this out for you. Trying to zoom out so you guys can copy this in 1 or 2 screenshots, but this is just defining what we want the output to be once the agent is through doing its processing. So it's the first half there, and there's the second half. Again, just take the screenshots, throw it into AI, and say, make this valid JSON, extract the text. So after that code is in there, good to go. So now that we've given our agent a brain to use and we told it the output we want it in, when we run it, we'll get our nicely formatted analysis, right? So we've passed through the job application and the job description, and we get the candidate's strengths, their weaknesses, some risk factors, the reward factors, and you can see we get the overall rating here. Now we're going to use an information extractor node, and just to make it easier to populate the text into our Google Sheet. So go ahead and copy this configuration. Scroll down a little slowly for you. And we need to also give this node a brain. So we can drag from this node to the AI model part, run that thing, and let's see what we get. Yeah, we just extracted first name, last name, and email. Very last step here, can you guys believe we're already almost done, is the append sheet Google Sheets step. So we have not authenticated with Google Sheets yet, so you'll come in here, create a new credential if you haven't, and sign in with your Google account. You will need to create a Google Sheet in your Drive and name it something descriptive. And you'll want to copy these fields as your columns. And remember what you named your sheet. So back in this step, we'll append a row to our new sheet. NAN has this feature where whenever you select a new sheet, it'll delete all of your field mapping. So make sure you're selecting the right credential file sheet before you update these fields here. And then you want to map all of these columns from our Google Sheet to the data from our previous steps. So just running this previous steps here, I had to unpin some of the steps, and I actually had to unpin all the way back here to upload to Drive. The reason is because we referenced that step here, upload to Drive, and this was just showing as red, and that just indicates to me, hey, we need to run this again from that step so that it can get that data and it'll show as green. So we see output, it was a success. If we go to the sheet we made, right, remember here are our columns, we see them populated with all of our AI generated information. We have the location of the resume, first and last name, email, strengths, so this is a little bit of a longer part here, the different strengths and weaknesses. A statement about the risk factor and the reward factor, the overall fit, which is nice. Once you have a lot of resumes here, you may want to go to data here, create a filter, and you can sort Z to A. That'll sort in descending order. So the highest of overall fit numbers will show up first. And here's the justification for the rating. And let's just watch it again from beginning to end. Execute that bad boy. We receive the resume, upload it to Google Drive. It's a Word doc. So we do a conversion, get the contents, extract them, set the variables so we can work with it easier. A lot of these are just, hey, to be able to work with the data easier. To get the job description, to compare it to the application, extract from this file, send it to artificial intelligence, extract that name and email, and then append the data to our Google Sheet again. So that is the hiring screener built from scratch. I absolutely love automations like these. They're not super sexy, but they can save a lot of time. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, but that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you in the next one. Peace.